What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. We're going to learn this classic Zeppelin tune. And also, I just want to say thanks for the support, and I would really appreciate, if you haven't yet, subscribing to the channel here, Marty Music, and clicking that bell notification. Really does help me out, so thank you for that. And then also, I've got some great links below, some great guitar resources, so check it out. All right, let's do it. All right, so we got to drop our E string down a whole step to D. And then we want to drop our high E string down to a whole step to D. So we call that double drop D. Now the other thing is there's mandolin, multiple guitar parts, lots of variations, lots of complex stuff. So I'm going to kind of give you my own arrangement version, because really it's about getting the specific finger patterns down, and then you can kind of improvise around those concepts. So we're going to start with what we can kind of think of as like I mean, if you were to play a classic D shape, it doesn't sound like D because of the tuning. But you kind of think of yourself in this position, and we really just need the 3rd fret B string. And we're going to start with this drone pattern. You know, if I'm holding that there, just in case I hit the G, still works, but we're going to go, and this is a pattern you're going to want to play a lot, and it'll help you later with the song. So this could be a great pattern to start practicing for other stuff too. It's Travis picking style. So I'm going to call it the E string, but it's been tuned down to D. So the E string with the thumb, and then the B string with the index. Then the thumb moves over to the D string open. And then with my middle finger, I hit the high E. Like that. And throughout the whole song, the thumb alternates boom, dum, 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 dum. And then sometimes you're going to hit notes in between that, and then other times you're going to hit it with that. And it gives that effect of sounding like multiple parts being played. So we're going to go boom, da, doo, da, boo, da, da. Boo, da, doo, da, doo, da, da. So the pattern ends on that thumb on the D string. Slow. And that's the pattern that's going to actually be related to a lot of this song. You know, so you're going to see it come out. So we start with that. Next, we go to it's a G chord on, like, you know, theoretically it's a G chord, but we got it because of the tuning. We're going to put our middle finger on the 5th fret of that E string that's been tuned down, and our ring finger on the 5th fret of the high E that's been tuned down. And we're going to do a very similar pattern, but for this chord shape, instead of D, B, D, high E, instead of this D, we're going to hit the G string, because this is a G chord. So it's the E string, and then index on the B, and then thumb on the G, not the D, and then middle finger on the high E. So... And if you hit the D by accident, because we do it here, it still sounds fantastic. It's still part of the chord. But aim for that G. So now check this out. Same pattern, but it's the G string, not the D string. Okay, so a good practice would be to just do that. You know, think about the song for a second. We're going to do some movement, but Now, keep in mind the intro is do da 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 stop, do da 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 stop, but up here it's do da 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 da. So let's now evolve that a little bit, but look at that pattern, because that's another thing that you can build up. You will get the song a lot easier and faster by putting some repetitions in on just the right hand patterns. See that? Just second nature. Okay, let's keep going. Now what we're going to do, instead of as the pattern, for the first one, along with that E string, we're just going to play the high E with it. The pattern stays the same, so it'd be, that's called a pinch when it's two strings together. So that's now what we're going to do. Pinch. Pinch again. So that's all we've added. Instead of just on the first one, we play the pinch. Keep going. So when I talk about getting this memorized, you can just literally very lightly move a few fingers around. I mean, you know, right? So there are two main patterns, but then you start to get little pinches along with it. So we pinch. And the next time your index hits the high E, it's going to be this index down to the 4th fret. Then the next time, index is off. All right, so from the top. Now, he does lots of variations, and also there's a beautiful mandolin accompaniment that goes along with it. So check this out. The variations are on that 5th fret of the B string. So I would first recommend you just practicing the right hand pattern. right? Then mess with that. You know, sometimes he holds it. I mean, I've listened to it. Nothing. You know, grabbing it, pulling it off. So there's just going to be variations with that 5th fret B string, but you definitely want to be able to do this first. Then mess with the 5th fret B string. So, you know, it's G, G, D, but he's not really, I mean, you could just do a straight drone on that D, but we're going to learn this little combination of parts. So the good news is the right hand pattern, once again, kind of stays in this similar pattern that you should just hopefully get some muscle memory on. It'll make all this stuff way easier. So this next little piece I'm going to walk you through, the pattern reverses a little bit, but I'm just going to walk you through all the pieces. So far, the song is... and this one... So now what we're going to do is we're going to pinch the open E string that's been tuned down with the 5th fret B string, and I'm going to use my left ring finger, but I'm going to pinch with my thumb and index and go like that. So... So after that pinch, thumb is going to hit the open D string. So you're still going to get for that. So pinch, then the D. And then index is going to hit the 5th of the B. Then the open E string that's been tuned down to D. So after that thumb, it's then the high E, and that's what I mean by the pattern reverses a little bit, because it's low E, high E, D, B. And that's how it changes. So another one to do over and over. So after that high E, thumb goes back to the D. And so after you've hit that high E once, that's open, your ring finger is going to come down to the 7th fret. of that high E, which has been tuned down to D. Look at the pattern. From the top. Right, next part. Newest part. New part. So now this is back to the original, but instead of the G, it's that D string. So now we switch ring finger to 7th fret B, index 5th fret high E, and you start with the pinch, then the B, then the D. So and it continues with that pattern. But what's going to happen is we're going to take our index off. And back to the top. Remember all the variations there. I'm going to keep it simple, but there's lots of variations with that 5th fret B string on that first chord of the verse or whatever we call it. So altogether, should look like this. And then it repeats. And even there, you can mix and match because there's a lot. There's that mandolin, there's some higher register, lower register, lots going on. But I think that would be a great way to play it if you were like doing a vocal cover, singing it. I think we're getting the main parts of it. Okay, so now we have a new part. So now we are going to play 3rd fret high E, and then 5th fret B, 5th fret G. And so this is going to start with the pinch again on the low E, high E. And then the B. And then I'm hitting that G. B, G. So that same pattern. And once again, lots of different complex parts going on, but we're playing this. And then we're going to hit the A string 2nd fret, and then the 3rd fret B, 3rd fret high E, and we pinch those. And so you'd have 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and then it gets pulled off. And then we have, because of the tuning, we got to get to a D chord here. And it has to be 3rd fret B and 4th fret high E because it's been tuned down a whole step. So you can hit a little slide here, and you can even think of it as same pattern, but do a pinch on the E, which has been tuned down, and AirPod falls out, and you pinch and hammer that 2nd fret to 3rd fret on the B. So it actually only does that little slide thing once, though, I believe. All right, so there's more to go. So you've got this part. You know, so you've got, all you have to do after the and sorry, I played that a little different there. So there's a, so take the very first, pattern, the open E string, and then the B string, then the D string, then the high E string. Back at the verse again and again, it feels so good, wanna hear it all the time. So you just play a D chord shape way up here, just an octave up. So for instance, middle finger is on the 14th fret, index is on 14, ring's on 15, and you just play that pattern. And it sounds so good. Right, so you go through that whole thing again. All right, we got another part now, and we're gonna start with this little, what looks like a little minor shape here. So 5th fret on the high E, 6 on the B, 7 on the G. We start with a pinch on the 2 E strings, but for that first pinch, our pinky, we're gonna hold the shape, but our pinky is gonna be planted on that 7th fret high E, because it's going to be going off and on to get this little effect here. All right, so back to this. And the pattern is just like when we play, right? So it's pinching, then the B, but then the G with the thumb. that pattern. Pinkies on, pinkies off. But you just got to start with the pinch. And the good news is if you hit the D by accident instead of the G, still sounds great. Either one sounds good. You and your mandolin player can decide who plays which note there. Then I go to what looks like a regular old A major, and I'm just doing the same kind of pattern, but with the A bass, not the E string bass. So I pinch the A and the high E. Once again, you can hit the D as well if you want. That sounds good. So from here, then you got it back to a intro drone D. So you can drone out on D. There's so much you can do, especially if you work on those right hand patterns. So at the end of the song, I think it would be fitting for you to go right back up to the Now, if you've been working on this lesson, you might be coming back, coming forth. I worked on a way to teach it to you. That's really been something that I have worked hard on for the last kind of like 10 days from filming this, is how to teach it, because it's there's a complex thing going on, but some simple fundamentals that can be carried over for so much guitar playing. So let me just go over all the parts we learned, because it's not every single part of the song, but it's kind of like my grab bag on how to play this song. So we start with this classic D shape. Starts with that. Then we go to what is a G chord, starting with the most basic pattern of the pinch. Like that. And we just have to add this. And you could literally just go back to the, if you wanted, right? But we added this. And I was hitting the D and the G a little bit randomly there, but either one sounds good. Then you have this part. And then doing it with the octave. So that's all that. Then we also have this part. To the A. right, hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Thanks again. We'll see you later.